Happy Thursday, everybody. This is Victor Carr, and welcome to our weekly virtual photography tour. And we've got a nice one today. You know, we're actually going back to Prospect Park. Went there last summer. And I'm sure many of you are familiar. Some of you have been in it at various pieces of it. I wonder how many of you have actually walked through the entire thing. It's quite a fascinating park. Very beautiful, with a lot of unexpected places that you didn't know you would see. And on this film, I didn't get to go to everything. You know, that's just how big it is. But maybe I'll make another one and go to the parts I didn't go to. But the parts I did go to were pretty nice. So before we get started, as customary, I want to show you where it lives on the map and where it is, how it's positioned in Brooklyn and New York City. So I have the map here ready for you. Let's take a look. So here we see a map of Prospect Park. It's in the top third of Brooklyn, the borough of Brooklyn. Borough of Brooklyn's pretty big. You know, if I were to zoom out, you'd see there, it's the largest borough of them all, of the 5 boroughs. And you see where Prospect Park is, right there next to Park Slope, right below Prospect Heights, and the bottom is Flatbush over here in the bottom right. But here's the park. It's as large as it is. It's only half the size of Central Park, which was also created by Frederick Olmsted around in the same era. You know, I don't know how many years apart, but he actually preferred this one. He said it was a better park because you could go into the park and you wouldn't see any buildings. And it felt more like a natural park. You know, at Manhattan, in Central Park, unless you're deep into the wooded areas, everywhere you look, you're going to see buildings. And he really didn't want to see buildings, and he was very pleased with this. And it's a beautiful park, as you'll see as we go into it. So I came in from the top here. Actually got off the train and went through Grand Army Plaza, which has its own arch, like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. In fact, there's a Grand Army Plaza in Paris, which looks very much like this. And actually, the Champs-Élysées begins at the bottom of it, and this one was patterned on the one in Paris. So it has some good. It has a good model for it. Anyway, so I'm not going to spend too much time doing this, but to give you a sense of, came in through the entrance here, went through the arch, went through all around of it, and I got to see the pond down the Prospect Park Lake down here, and didn't go to the zoo, but saw quite a bit. Anyway, that is Prospect Park, where it is, and how it sits in the borough of Brooklyn, and how that sits in the overall New York City. Alrighty, so now you know where it is on the map. So that leaves us free to go ahead and get started seeing it in real life. So without further ado, I present to you our virtual photography tour of Prospect Park, Brooklyn. I don't see any indication of what this statue is, but I had to guess. I would say it's the Greek gods, like that one on the bottom there. That's probably Neptune. And above that, I don't know, Venus or Aphrodite in the Greek. And maybe that's, don't know who that dude is, but it's impressive.
He wants the chance to be a free man. And I think that all of us need to do what we can, do a little more research about Keith, because you will find the wrongdoings that lie not only in Keith's situation, but in so many black men and women. I mean, even think about Sandra Bland, right? This was a woman that was pulled over for a routine.
So this is, oh wait a second, that's better. Nobody's around me. So those who have been to Paris will recognize this. This was modeled on the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. In fact, this whole area around here is, they call it Grand Army Plaza. Well, in Paris, it's called Grande Armée, and it served as a model for the one that's here. And you see in the background, those statues there, exactly the same as in Paris. So, if you can't get overseas, you want to have a little Paris, come to Brooklyn, to the Grand Army Plaza.
I'm Peg Breen from the New York Landmarks Conservancy. We're at Prospect Park in Brooklyn for another tourist in your own town adventure. Prospect Park is a scenic landmark covering almost 600 acres. Built in the 1860s, it's considered Frederick Law Olmsted's and Calvert Vaux's masterpiece. But amidst the natural beauty, the site also contains incredible history and architecture. Grand Army Plaza at the park's northern boundary is about as grand an entrance as you'll find. The monumental arch, designed by John Duncan, is tribute to soldiers and sailors who died in the Civil War. The sculptures on the arch are by Frederick MacMonnies. Later, Stanford White added the eagle-top columns and pillared pavilions. The entire plaza is a National Historic Landmark. South along the west side of the park, you'll find the 1857 Litchfield Villa. It was designed by Alexander Jackson Davis in an Italianate style. Once the residence of a prominent railroad magnate and real estate developer, the villa was incorporated into the park and now serves as administrative offices. South along the east side, you'll find the late 18th century Lefferts House. The original Lefferts House was burned by the British shortly before the Battle of Brooklyn in August of 1776. Monuments and markers commemorating that famous battle are nearby, including one to the Maryland 400. These brave soldiers suffered great losses, but held back the British, enabling George Washington's forces to escape. Further down the east side, there's the 1905 Bozar Boathouse, designed by Brooklyn architects Helmley, Huberty, and Hudswell. It was inspired by 16th century Venetian architecture. It's now the Audubon Center for Environmental Education. Continuing south, you'll find several highlights in the lovely Consort Grove. which featured open-air concerts in the late 19th century. The Oriental Pavilion was designed by Thomas Weisdell and Calvert Vaux in 1874. It was originally a tea house. It has a wonderful stained glass cupola and medieval Hindu-inspired columns. Consort Grove also contains a section of historic bronze busts of famous composers, Beethoven, Mozart, among others. A larger-than-life bronze statue of Abraham Lincoln watches over Consort Grove. It was dedicated in 1869, shortly after Lincoln's death, and was the first statue of Lincoln in the country. The area also includes a lovely World War I memorial with a moving sculpture that was dedicated in 1921. Sections of Consort Grove were covered over by Robert Moses in the 1930s, but they've been magnificently restored. The decorative terraces and urns, the shoreline, and Music Island. Those were just some of the architectural and artistic features of the park. It would take days to see them all. Fortunately, there's always a lovely spot to sit and refresh yourself on your walk. Prospect Park has something for everyone, and in every season.
If you go off the main road, here's the entrance here. I'm going down this gotta be careful, separated stairway to the main meadow of the park. And I'll let you see in front of me now, because I don't want to trip. And this is what I was talking about. You see how tricky these things are? You can hurt yourself. And as we come down from the road, which is kind of elevated, we get into the big meadow here, Prospect Park. And pretty well packed for a late August Sunday afternoon. I don't normally say what day I'm here, but it doesn't matter. I'll put that part out of the tape.
Popular place in Prospect Park is open again. The Consort Grove Pavilion reopened this week after a $2 million restoration. This pavilion was closed 7 years ago because of structural and water damage. As part of the facelift, missing historic details were rebuilt. New lighting has been added. The pavilion has been home to concerts and other special events and is ready to do that again.
Taught the class here several times, but never came across this picnic house before. So, you know, this is the kind of place where you can always have a new discovery, no matter how many times you come here. And pretty nice. Okay, there it is behind me, the staircase. Looks like it's mainly closed, but the bathrooms are open. And we're going to be circling around to see there's much more to this park, and I'm going to be showing you a bunch of still shots from all areas of here. This way it balances between video and still. baths, the whole environment changes. You saw the waterfalls, you hear the quiet sounds of the birds and the water rustling, and quite peaceful here. Have a fork in the road, you see. Left. Right. Well, we're gonna go right.
This is an area that was hit hard by Sandy, and we lost over 50 mature trees in this area. With the trees coming down, a lot of invasive species grew up. The goats will eat anything and everything, and that's the beauty of having them here, is they're actually going to help us with that removal of invasive species. So they'll eat all of the ground cover, they'll eat poison ivy, they'll eat the goutweed, they'll eat much of the ground cover that's here now, and help us to clear the area to get it ready for replanting.
After wandering through a path I didn't know where it was taking me, I came out to the mouth of Prospect Park Lake. Okay, the lighting's kind of off, but this is Prospect Park Lake. Is really nice. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm looking at. That's Prospect Park Lake. It's not huge, but it qualifies as a lake. And there's people over there, boat rides. I think some people are fishing. Let's do a little zoom in. Okay, and that's our trip. I hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't it fun? You know, some things just happen with happy accidents, like the Swan came across, and I had no idea I was going to come across a performance by that all-lady band. They were pretty good, right? Pretty hot stuff. So, and then we had the band, the drummers, African drummers, in the park. Shows you what a lively place it can be on a nice summer day. So, and there we are. That completes this week's class, and we'll have another trip next week for you, something interesting and exciting for you to see next time. So, as I always say, until then, be happy, healthy, and safe. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and this is Victor Carr, signing off.